everyone, it's Amanda from AmandaFrancis.com here with my friend Alex Street, a Money Mentality Makeover student. Thank you so much for being here, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
So Alex, I am so excited to do this interview with you. So I think Alex's interview is especially fun because she took the course more recently. So the course has been closed for a year, but I spoke in an event that she was at, and I offered, it was a small event. I offered that the 10 women in the room could get into the money course, and she took me up on it right away. And I've seen, it's funny, we became Facebook friends, and I would see her talking about the Money Mentality Makeover on Facebook and how it was changing her life and how much money she is making. And I was like, hey, can I interview you?
I said, of course.
Okay, so why don't we just start from the beginning? So what was it like for you? So you enroll in the course, and then what happens?
So I had enrolled in the course because we had met, and I had actually known about your course before because I had seen just the different things on Facebook, and I had heard about it through different friends. And I was always really, really interested, but never was like ready to take the plunge. And then so I enrolled after meeting you, and I was like, I need this in my life because whatever I'm doing is not working. And it was so awesome because from day one, you literally find out like it's never about money. It's all the other stuff that you have in your head that keeps you from it. And I found I had a lot of that I had to work through. But then even from day one, and you think like, oh, maybe I'm not working enough, or like I'm not, am I really doing the work to get through this? I had made a goal to have just $4,000 extra income. It was something that seemed like a big kind of jump for me, but like also still believable. So it wasn't like this like, oh, I want $100,000. Or I didn't want to make it small either. So literally within the next day, in 2 days, I had made over half of that because I got a phone call from a car that had been sitting out back way, I had like forgotten about it. And they said, we have $2,000 cash. Can we buy it from you? And so boom, within 2 days.
Within 2 days, you manifested half of what you had set the goal for your extra income. And that's what I love about this course, and that's what I love about opening up our mindset around money. Like, yes, if your business will get better. Yes, things can happen through your job and through your work and through your spouse's job and through whatever. But I love when people become open to abundance, and then it's the crazy miracles, like the truck you've forgotten about that's sitting behind your house that someone calls and offers to give you $2,000 for. Like that, it's like we all are capable of receiving, and we open ourselves up to it and change our mind. It's funny how it makes its way to us.
Yes. It was almost as if like the walls had come down, figuratively and literally, and you realize like there's just money swarming you all the time, but you got to get out of your own way. And that's what I loved about the course, was that it, like from day one, it just makes it so easy and so simple. And then all of a sudden you're like looking around, you're like, oh my gosh, like why didn't I think of this? It's like, it's literally right there.
Yeah, there's always opportunities. There's always opportunities for limited abundance. And yes, we just, as long as we're walking around saying money can only come in this way, or I'll never be a wealthy person, or wealthy people are greedy, and or whatever, as long as we're telling stories that make us not want to receive or not feel capable or good enough of receiving, we are blocking ourselves all the time, right?
Big time. And I had so many just weird stories from being little, growing up, and it was like we always had just enough, but not more than enough. So it was, my parents are extremely successful, very smart. My dad owns his own business, and I remember growing up, and it was like when at least for his business, it was like there was good times and there was bad times. And so my mentality growing up was like, oh, you have to hang on to it because you never know when it's not going to come in again. And so that led, to all these crazy beliefs that I couldn't trust it, that I had to, be fearful of money, and that I had to hoard whatever came in. Like I was not, it would just freak me out if I had to spend it, like an unexpected bill or an emergency. I have a son, and so, it's like they're constantly getting hurt or broken or something. And so it's like that would always freak me out because it was like, oh my gosh, like what if that money's not there? And I felt like I couldn't treat myself. I couldn't buy what I wanted. And it was just not very good.
I think that's an experience a lot of people have, even when they have money. I mean, we have the people who sign up who don't have money, have never had money, but even When you do have money or things are going well, you don't trust it. You don't feel good about it. You want to hoard it. You cling on to it. And that energy doesn't say to the universe, I'm ready for more, right? When there's not a flow, when there's not a coming in and going out, when there's a hoarding, we are saying that we don't think it's possible for more to come to us, right? And that doesn't work out very well.
No, it doesn't. And I would get so frustrated because I'd be like, why isn't it showing up? Because I'm wanting it. I feel like I'm doing the work. And I also grew up with the belief that like you had to work really, really hard for money, and that like it had to take a long time. Like you had to pay your dues kind of thing. And so I would get frustrated when I was working really, really long hours, even though it was something I loved. And then just not seeing it anywhere in my life. And just, it was scary, it just made you feel like crap. Like you never want to be a just enough person. You don't want to be like the just get by or nothing, like you're not deserving of the glass of wine you truly want versus a house wine. It's like that kind of stuff. And it, Money Mentality Makeover, of course, it like goes into those beliefs that keep you stuck, and then you get rid of them, and then all of a sudden it's like, the world opens up. It's awesome.
Right. Yeah. And it's not about money. Like it is about money, but it's not about money, right? Like you said in the email you wrote me that it changed your like self-worth, like your self-love.
Yes. Yep. One of the biggest things, like the conversations that we had, when we met, and you were like, it's never about money. And it's so true, because it really forces you to dig deep and to like really see like what you think about yourself. Because what you think about yourself is like, it's kind of like you're blocking all abundance throughout like every part of your life. And so, when I dug deep and I was like really thinking about it, we just suffered kind of a traumatic event this past fall. And there was a lot of like what I found to be, you don't deserve to be happy after that and like financially happy. You don't deserve to be taking vacations or earning income or going out or buying these things. But then it was like, who am I not to? Like, why wouldn't I? And, it was stuff from my childhood about like that you can't trust it, and that you never know when it's going to come in or not come in. And so, learning to kind of get rid of those, all of a sudden, like I found out, and it was something I already knew, but just never allowed myself like permission to say this, like, I deserve so much, everything that my heart desires. And then I was like, I walked differently. It's like you're so much more confident. You hold your shoulders back a little bit more when you meet people. It's like this quiet, confident peace that's so strong though. And you're able to just relax. It just gives you a sense of certainty that one, you're worth it, two, you can have it, and three, there's no limits. And that's such a great place to be as a woman, as a human being, everything.
Oh, that was so good. What was it? When you're worth it, two, you deserve it, and three,
there are no limits.
There's no motherfucking limits. I know. There are no limits. So you go through the course. I have you reprogram your belief systems or reprogram your mind. You look at your limiting beliefs. You tell new stories. You believe you're worthy of money. And now you're walking around like someone who feels deserving of whatever their heart's desires are. And the world acts accordingly, right?
Absolutely. I mean, people talk to you differently. In your business, you will meet the right kind of clients, the people who you actually want to work with. You also are confident enough to say, no, you're exactly who I'm not looking for, and I'm not desperate, because there's more than enough for me and you're not it. That's such a really great person. Yes. Because so many people, when they're starting their business, like their first thought is, I want to work with everybody and I'm going to pitch to everybody. And it's just a way to, I think it just kind of boils back down again to like, I have to work really hard and sacrifice a lot, but just this money course, get clear on what you want. The world will respond back to you on your desires. And it goes quick. And you attract better people. You got better friends. People treat you better. You feel better. You can like lay your head down at night and feel like, wow, I am doing some good work here, and it's meaningful.
And the thing about money is women have a hard time believing they're worthy of money, or believing they can receive more than their dads or their husbands, or feeling not guilty around money, or believing that it's not selfish around women. Women have all these beliefs. Once we reprogram those and you understand the process for reprogramming your mind, and you believe that your desires are safe guidance, and you believe that the universe has your back, and you believe that cosmic forces are teaming up with you. Yeah. Once you're believing all of that, you can apply it to anything, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's fabulous. That's why I love this course. It's not just money. It's just it's fun.
It's not just money, but the money was fun, right? It was fun to set that goal and receive it quickly.
Absolutely. And I would like tell people, like there was a little bit of like disbelief at first, like because like, whoa, like is it really that easy? You know, like could it have been that I've spent all these years struggling and staying up late at night worrying about money? And it's finally just this easy of clearing your blocks and doing the work and just being open to, you know what, I'm receiving it. You know, I remember like getting that phone call and it's like, can I count this? Like, does that count? And then I was like, what?
Yeah, because you told me, you said in the email that one of your limiting beliefs was that it had to come through your business. Mm-hmm. Trust me, a lot of money comes through my business, but I love the miracles of the things we couldn't have planned for, right? But yes, it counts. Like, why would it not count?
I know, and that's what, like, I listened to, I think it was module 2 the next day, and you had said, like, yeah, don't put rules on it. Like, if it's coming to you, it counts. Like, you attracted that. And I was just like, well, yes, it does count. And there's half of it in 2 days.
Yes. Because you changed. I mean, anyone listening to this, I hope you're beginning to pick up on how this works. When you change your vibration, when you change your frequency, when you change how you live, and like, okay, so our thoughts determine our emotions, and our emotions determine our vibe, and our vibe determines what we're attracting, right? It all goes together. So I teach you to change your mind so you can feel better, so you can feel abundant. Then you're vibrating at a new place, and then you're attracting things that are an energetic match for that place that you're at. One being money coming, and the way I teach it, money coming quickly and easily, right? Like, you start to see changes fast.
Yes, and I think that was like one of the exciting things too, is because then after I saw that, it was like, well, what next? And then it just kind of, you know, throughout the rest of the month, it just kept coming in. You know, I didn't see any like giant amounts like that, but I did all of a sudden like find that there was like this bank account with my name on it. Didn't know about it, but there's $700 in it, you know, and it's mine. Like that kind of stuff. Like we got, you know, cards in the mail with just $100 bills. Just, hey, Merry Christmas, like from people we don't know. And it's that kind of stuff. And it, you know, it's like, that's like kind of the joke now. It's like, I walk around like, I'm a money magnet. It just always comes to me. And I say it all the time, but like, I mean it. And I'm starting to pick it up with my son now. My son is 10, you guys, and he believes absolutely that money grows on trees. And I love it because that's not the mentality I had growing up. But he now knows a world that, you know, when you ask for it, you get it. And that's not to be, you know, confused with being a spoiled kid. It's just he knows his worth. He vibrates on this little positive bundle of sunshine, and money comes to him.
So, of course it does. Okay, so you sold a car for $2,000. You found a bank account with $700, and you got more than one $100 bill in an envelope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like random 20s too. I'd like find money in like, you know, old jackets, or, you know, they also need to be walking down the street and there's a $20 bill or something like that. Just little fun things.
Yeah. And I think the difference is people might be thinking like, well, I've gotten a check here or there. I found money on the ground before. And even if that's true, you know what's different about it once you've taken a course like this or done this kind of work is you're noticing it and you're appreciating it and you're grateful for it, and that brings more. So even if you were going to find that 20 anyway, your reaction to the 20 is going to change your life, right?
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy that you're here. And then it's like, you just keep looking forward to the next one because you just know it's coming. And to me, that was like the biggest peace of mind because, you know, I'm a single mom. It's just me, and just having this faith that, you know, there's no struggle anymore. There's no, this has to be hard, or, you know, this needs to be, I don't know. And it's like, that's just such a peace of mind raising a child and just being a woman in society and an entrepreneur as well. Yeah, and it affects your business too. When you operate, when you're coming in and you're talking to your clients and you've got high energy and you are excited and you are just, you know, you become a magnet, not just for money, but for the right people, the people who you want to work with. All of a sudden you'll get, you know, things dropped in your lap, opportunities to network up and to do bigger things with other people that will get your message out more. And it's like, it's just this really beautiful circle, if you will, of abundance. And, you know, once you get into that flow, it just goes. It's so fun.
It is fun, and you did such beautiful work, and I love that you just dived in and applied it quickly and had doubts but went right to module 2 anyway and just
Yeah.
did the damn thing, right? You just did the damn thing.
I was bound and determined to get through it super, super quick and then do it over again. And I'm actually going to be starting it over again too, because it's like, this works.
Well, you I'm sure have heard me say this in the course. I think I say it in the week 1 intro. I'm like, listen, guys, I'm still working these steps. You know, I don't remember what it was at that time, but I know what it is now. Like, I've had my biggest month ever was like a $60,000 month, but $67,000 month. Before that, it was like 42, and before that, it was 20, and before that, it was 11, and la la la. I've been doing this a long time, right? But like, every time I pick my new number, every time I'm ready to upgrade, every time I'm ready to manifest in a bigger way, I'm still working the course.
Oh, yeah.
It's not something we do once. We're going to keep reprogramming our minds.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Faster now, because I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this yet, because you've only had it maybe like, what, 2 months? But like, I go through the steps in the course in like 15 minutes now, when it used to take like 3 weeks, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely. You get faster at them as you do them. And then, you know, like you said, it's so you just set bigger goals the next time, and you just continue to work your way up. So I'm really excited for that as well. But yeah, you get faster. It becomes quicker, a little bit more of like you don't have to skip through, at least for me, like I don't have to go through my entire childhood anymore. I can just go through through the work that I need to do right now. Like, what's my limiting belief right now? Fix that, keep going.
I think that's exactly the difference. You're going to have to work through a limiting belief or some kind of stuck idea probably every time you set a new goal. But no, we don't have to go deep into the past every time. But it's really nice to go deep into that past that first time where we work in the course, because you just kind of unearth some things, and it's kind of freeing, right?
I spent a couple hours doing that because I really wanted to give it the time it needed and to feel through it and to surrender to whatever it was. So I was done with it once and for all, because it was truthfully, it was fucking up my life, you know, because I wanted more. I wanted to go bigger, and it wasn't something that like I felt like I needed to do this in order to move forward. I needed to get rid of that. And it was so freeing, because like I got up and I had journaled everything, and I had written there, like I was sharing it with, I did the course with my mom and my sister as well. So I would share with them, and there were tears that were shed, because it's emotional. And when you hear like what is actually going on, you know, in your heart, it's like when you verbalize it, all of a sudden it makes sense. And I think that was like the biggest thing, is like, it makes sense. This is why. And now I have the tools to go in and to redo that and to fix that and to keep moving forward. But it was so freeing, because it's like I said, you just walk differently. You like hold your shoulders back more. You talk differently, have more energy, and you feel like you were carrying a weight that wasn't yours to carry, and you finally set it down. You're done.
Yeah. You feel better. You feel better. You drop the struggle, you drop the baggage, you increase your expectations, everything changes. And that's about what everyone tells me about the amount of time it took. You know, that first week, listening to the hour-and-a-half module, then spending an hour-and-a-half or 2 hours on the homework. And that might seem like a lot, but like we're both saying, it's kind of more intense in the beginning, but then after that, it's pretty easy. After that, you go through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't feel like it's that long when you do it. You know, you're constantly making strides, and then from start to finish, you're a different person within that couple hours. And so that's what I love, you know, about the course as well. It's not do it and wait to see results. It's instantaneously. Like, you will view the world differently. All of a sudden, everything's an opportunity, even after the first module. And so that's just such a fun way to live, and it's exciting. So, yeah.
Totally. Yes. And anyone thinking that sounds way too good to be true, you know, what it's really about is increasing your expectation and your faith. So you got your faith and your heart around $4,000 extra. That's what you were at based on what you believed is possible. Like you said, that was the number that you could get behind without taking yourself out. So that's what you were able to receive, right? And everyone's number, when they do this course and they set their initial goal, it's going to be different, but that doesn't matter. We are only limited by ourselves, right? So you set a number you could get behind, and that's what you were able to bring in.
Yeah. At first I was like, oh, it should be more. Like, and I would kind of beat myself up. But then that wasn't believable for me. And
Right.
because I was just like, no way, that's never going to happen. I can't see it. But I was also focusing on the how. I mean, now I wish I would have said it bigger, but I can do that next time. And
Yes, exactly.
so,
Incremental upgrades are so funny, you know. Like I'm getting to the place where I can understand what it might feel like to have like $100,000 like month. But I was talking to a business coach the other day who has $100,000 days, and it's just where she's getting her faith, where I'm getting my faith. Last year I was focused on $100,000 launch. The year before I was focused on $100,000 year. Right? It's just we're upgrading as we go and what we believe is possible. And if you set 4,000 extra this time, maybe you'll get your head around 10 next time, or 8, or it doesn't even matter because you'll keep going.
keep going, yeah. And then you just make it your non-negotiable. Like you said a number and you are never going to not ever see that number be met. Like you and I kind of talked about in Pensacola. And it was so interesting because I had set that 4,000 and it was met, you know, instantaneously. And that was just, you know, honestly, a lot of it came through just the odds and end ways. You know, my business did well, that was fine, but like the big stuff came outside of that. And so, you know, I was almost like, wow, I should have gone bigger, but I had to get behind that number. I had to see it for myself and I had to believe it. And it didn't matter if it would have been $40 or 40,000. It was like, I had to be behind it.
Right. You got behind it and you got it. And like you said, you got it fast. And that's still incredible. I'm sure anyone watching right now, I mean,
I would definitely
find an extra $4,000.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's not a small amount of money, girl. It's not.
No, it's not. I remember there are times when I couldn't even get my head wrapped around that was even, that it existed. You know what
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was times in my life where we were going through our couch looking for quarters so we could buy a Little Caesars pizza. Or, you know, I would work late shifts at restaurants so I could take home food, you know, so we didn't have to buy as many groceries. And so there was a time where $100 seemed like so much. And so, you know, if you're sitting in that point, that's okay too to start there. You just have to be behind it so that you can bring it in. So.
Yes, I've watched people pick all kinds of different numbers in this course, and I've watched them all bring it in the most miraculous ways. And yeah, it's anything you can get your faith behind. But I teach you the process of really getting yourself behind it. And then once you learn that, you can do it with anything. Is there anything else you want someone who's considering taking the course, who's unsure, anything else you want them to know?
I try and think back to who I was before I met you because well, I've been following your stuff for a while, just business stuff and social media and like branding stuff. And I had known who you were and just loved your work. I was like, I click with this girl. And then I had known about the money mentality makeover. And there was like that little nudge, right, that kept saying, you should do that. You really should do that. But then I would use the excuse, I don't have the money to do that. Or I don't know if it'll work. Like to me, one of my rules is it couldn't be that easy. Or I couldn't erase 27 years of frustration with this one course, right? That was kind of my story. And so I was making it really difficult for myself. But if you keep getting that nudge, you keep seeing this in your newsfeed, you keep seeing Amanda, you keep seeing people talk about it, there's this like fire in your belly. That's like, you're seriously getting pushed. You need to do it. Yeah. And just suck it up, do it. Because when you invest some money, you're basically saying, I'm ready for more. I'm behind this. I'm ready for big things and I'm ready to receive. So just don't shy away. Just do it.
Just do it. That's been my experience too. I was talking to a girl yesterday who said she barely had the money for the first payment, you know, but then she was like, God, you're gonna have to make every payment show up on time. And it did, right? And now she was just sharing with me how much she earns now and how her life has changed and having her first 5-figure day and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, that has been my experience too. When I energetically up level, whether it's through investing in something new or in some other way, but when I decide like I'm operating in a new way, I'm ready for more, everything you need shows up to meet you there.
It's so true. And you're worth it. And I think that in some of your trainings, at least for business, you've talked about like, don't let people, you know, this is your price. Like you're worth it. They're worth it. Ask them to step up. And so it kind of rang in my head. Like it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, Alex, how can you want more for your life? Not just money, but just more. Like,
yeah.
How can you do that if you're not willing to show up for it. And so
invest in yourself, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so that's where I was before I started this. And, you know, there's also, I had my own personal like conflictions about how easy, like one of my big rules is very much like, oh, you have to, you know, work so hard and so many hours and be so qualified. And I think that probably trips people up too, is like, oh my gosh, what if this was truly this easy? And then it kind of deflates all of the lies that you hide behind as to why you're not succeeding, why you're not successful, why you don't have. And so a lot of that too is taking responsibility and just admitting and saying, okay, it's time to do it.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's scary. It's scary to look at things and go, whoa, I don't have any excuses. I've always been capable and this is on me and I can't blame anyone. That's scary. But then it's freeing after, because then if it's up to you and you know you have the power, now you can just go do it, right?
Yeah, and then you make the rules and that's way more fun.
I know, that's one of my favorite parts of the whole course is when I go into we make the rules. We write our own rules. Yep. So how do you want life to work for you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So proud of you. You did beautiful work.
Thank you.
And joy and privilege to meet you in Pensacola and then watch you work the course and see your little updates on Facebook and find out that you're loving it. It's so funny. I was like, I don't even have to ask for testimonials for this thing anymore. I just scroll across my news feed and there's Alex going, oh my God.
Yes, I will blast it all day long because like to me, it was just such a game changer, you know, and it wasn't really even about the money. It was just, I mean, obviously it's great, but it's just the way you show up in the world. You just, you know, it's just so much more of a richer life in all of the terms of rich, you know? So I recommend it.
That was so beautiful. Okay. How can people find you on the interwebs?
So right now, best way to get in touch with me is on Facebook. That's my baby right now. Facebook.com/alexandra.street.9 is my personal. Otherwise, it's Facebook.com/Alexandra Street Fitness and Nutrition. Either way works best for me. So
thank you, love. I love you so much, and it was so good to hang out with you.
I love you, and I am so thankful to hang out with you and so thankful for your course and all the divine interventions that happen from you and everything else. So I wish you the best of luck in next year's class as well.